can say it's this month instead of next month now. But we are having our annual Eagle Council.
Do you mind running everyone through that again? I just turned the microphones on.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Go ahead. Hit them again real quick.
Okay. Well, they just watched that, didn't they?
Yes. Hey, it's better than us glitching out last week on our on assignment tech. So let's do it again. We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
So hi everyone. I'm Joanna Spilger. This is my colleague Ryan Height. We're coming to you from the Clayton office in St. Louis, Missouri. If you're watching on YouTube right now, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. You can like this video, subscribe so you never miss any of our videos that we post weekly. We don't just share live streams. We also share videos of Phyllis Schlafly at colleges. Also, if you're on Facebook, you can like this video and share with your family and friends so they can see it as well. Ryan's going to be adding in the comment section some articles for you to read that you do not want to miss. You want to take time to look those up. But I'm going to get us started.
Well, and make sure just the whole time interact with us. Feel free to email us at info@phyllisschlafly. Well, email me during the live stream, ryan@phyllisschlafly.com. Hit us up in the comments in the chat. We're already going wild. I'm getting all the do it live texts as we speak. My phone is starting to light up here. So let's just dive in. Everyone's with us. They're awake now.
Awesome. If you have any questions and we don't get to them, we'll get to them next week on our Unauthorized Caucus next Thursday. So I'm going to get us started. We are having our annual Eagle Council on Saturday, September 17th. It's an all-day event. We're going to have registration open up in the morning, and we're going to have a pro-life luncheon followed by a briefing, and then we're going to end the evening with a Constitution Day dinner. And you won't want to miss it. Our tickets, there's plenty of tickets still available. We have a lot of different options for tickets. You can get individual ones. You can get an all-day ticket. You can get student tickets. So just definitely check out our website. It's eaglecouncil.com. eaglecouncil.com. We have some great speakers already confirmed, like Missouri Secretary Jay Ashcroft, Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, Tamara Scott, and Bridget Van Means. And those are just a couple of people that we have confirmed.
And a sneak peek, I've got a flyer coming today, but a sneak peek, we just found out Dr. Mary Byrne is going to take part. If you're anywhere around the Midwest area or really over the country and you deal with education issues, that's a known name. And then for all of our Missouri folks, you'll know Dr. Bob Onder, who's just an outgoing Senate District 2 here in Missouri. He's going to join us as well. We're going to talk about the Constitution, about states and COVID lockdown and the authority that we find there in the citizens and local government, state and federal and so on, as we've addressed all the COVID issues these last 2 years. So there's a couple of name drops for you that are brand new and haven't even been advertised, but it's going to be a power-packed day that we're going to get through a bunch of stuff. So really sign up. You won't find very many other top-tier educational opportunities like this for this price and in this accessible kind of region. Everyone wants you to go to Florida, go to DC and pay hundreds of dollars and then thousands in travel and staying costs. And we want to keep this, back to the grassroots foundation that we have. So sign up. It's going to be good.
What I like about our events too, it's not just that we throw a lot of information at you, is we also give you action steps. So that is one thing I appreciate about our speakers that we bring in is, again, we give you a lot of information. We're going to have 6 topics that we cover throughout our event. And not only will you just get a lot of information, but you're going to get action steps that you can take after the event to go back to your state or in the state of Missouri and implement those. So that's one thing I really like about our annual training events. And then also this is a great networking opportunity because I know a lot of conservatives feel alone. They feel like they're the only one in their district and their town and their state that are the only conservatives. But what I like about our events is this is an opportunity for you to connect with others that you can communicate with throughout the year and be an encouragement to or a challenge to. So you don't want to miss this opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive in. We got a bunch of stuff that we wanted to talk about. We were trying to figure out, sometimes there's one topic, sometimes there's lots of topics. Today is a lots of topics day. There's a lot of things going on. Some things are small. We've talked before. We actually did this here on the show or on this live stream once a week. We talked about the ranked choice voting mess in Alaska. Well, that one shook itself out. Sarah Palin lost to a Democrat. So for the first time since 1973, Alaska will be represented by a Democrat for their at-large congressional seat. This has never happened in the last 50 years almost. And yet here we are. Thank you, ranked choice voting. The however many different elections they had automated this year, we've wound out at something absolutely crazy as a result, because the process was absolutely crazy. We've talked about this before. I'll link to our one-pagers page. I don't know if there's much more to say about it. It's just, there's the result. The result is that, and this isn't necessarily the unpopularity of Sarah Palin. If you look back over the history of this year, it is the absolute insanity of the ranked choice voter system and how that takes away the voice of the people and the vote of the people. So I'll put a link down there to our one pager and to this story as well. But welcome to the results of what a lot of organizations, including ours, have been trying to warn people about.
Another thing we talk a lot about is education, and there's been some interesting things coming out from Project Veritas. They've been exposing an assistant principal in Connecticut that actually has admitted that he discriminates when he hires, which of course we all know, if you've ever done any kind of hiring, you cannot discriminate based off of religion, sex, age, any of those things. So, and he's discriminating based off of religion, actually, because, as it says here on the Project Veritas website, because they are more conservative, progressive teachers are savvy about delivering a democratic message. So he doesn't want to have any, and specifically religious people, Catholics, who are more set in their ways because they won't teach the agenda that they're trying to push on our kids.
And this is something, like all Project Veritas exposés, when they come, this one's going to be big. I know that part one already happened. I think part two is coming up tomorrow. If you want to find out more, and I'll post this here in the link in the comments and in the chat, thesecretcurriculum.com is where you can go to sign up for email updates. But really, you should take a look at what's happened so far, because the initial 1 or 2 part video expose that they put out on this one Connecticut, you could say it's an isolated incident, but it's not, because part two is coming. Different state, different school, different person, same story though. And what you're finding is really the anti-conservative, anti-religious values of any kind. Christian, Jew, whatever it is, if that shared religious values is instilled in someone, they don't want anything to do with them in the school system. So, this isn't an indictment. We've talked about this before. This isn't an indictment against all teachers. There are good teachers out there. There are good principals. There are good superintendents. You may even live in a place, a nice rural pocket somewhere, where your entire school district is insulated from this stuff. But make no mistake, the system itself has turned into an industry just laden with bureaucracy, and it's rotten from the core. So even if it hasn't reached all the way out to your area yet, there are some major problems, and it is systemic. It is across the whole thing. So I really encourage you. We've been watching this, and Project Veritas does a really good job moving things along, providing the sources so that you can't just say, look at this nice, quick, flashy, edited thing. No, they always give you the full story, and then it can be relied upon, because it is eyewitness stuff. This is someone talking on camera, whether they know it or not, admitting all the things going on behind the scenes. So take a look at thesecretcurriculum.com, and go, of course, follow Project Veritas, James O'Keefe on whatever media you're on, wherever they still are. They've been banned from a lot of social media. But the stuff that they're dropping is just, as everyone's focused on get back to school, I think this is going to be a real eye-opener for a lot of people who kind of need to wake up to really what shape the system's in now and where it's going. Because there's only one conclusion with this. I mean, I don't know if there's any getting it back, but that's a whole different conversation to get into, not in our 10 or 15 minutes we spend on Thursdays.
We could take a long time
on
that one.
We'll do a whole special. We'll do our own expose.
I'll go ahead and link into another thing that we want to talk about, is how fake history is a real problem. And I'm just quoting something that our boss actually said this week on his radio show. And if you haven't heard his radio program on the 31st, so yesterday, he talks a lot about how we're seeing how history is being changed. And of course, that is a huge problem. And Ryan was bringing that up today with a story about just who gets the credit for ending the Cold War.
Well, you quoting me, I was quoting Gwen, our librarian had brought up. And it was a neat sequence that we got to go through here. And pardon me while I'm trying to read and post things. So be patient. We'll get there. I'll get everything posted as fast as we can. But Mikhail Gorbachev, the former Soviet premier, the final Soviet premier who presided over the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics when it fell, in the 1990s. He passed away this week. So, of course, we talk about fake history. I mean, really, it's kind of being rewritten. A lot of places in the liberal news were lauding him as the man who ended the Cold War, when, in fact, Reagan, U.S. President Ronald Reagan is the man who ended the Cold War and strong-armed Mikhail Gorbachev into listening and into reasoning. And then, the fall of the Soviet Union came very quickly after 8 years of Ronald Reagan in the White House. So we got to be careful about what we allow people to say and get away with unchecked, because it really is a revision of history itself. It's absolutely incredible. But what Gwen pointed out, which was great, she pulled up Phyllis's final column, September 7th of 2016. It actually came out a couple of days after she passed away. I remember this, the final 24 hours of her life, she dictated her column to someone to make sure that it was on time. And of course, she didn't even make it to see the publication of it that week. But her final column in 2016, right after right before the election of 2016, her title, Trump in Mexico, a trip that he took, recalls Reagan in Geneva. And she was really pulling all the parallels, and I'm going to post this here, pulling all the parallels of what a strong American leader looks like. And we've seen this before. We've seen strong American leaders, and she very much thought that Donald Trump represented that same kind of aura around the presidency. So Gwen pulled that up today, and I saw she was posting it around a few places and talked about how world leaders like Mikhail Gorbachev, who everyone is lauding as something that he wasn't, those are the leaders that require the U.S. to have strong leadership like Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump. So it's meaningful today, even though it's a column a few years old from Phyllis, from a past presidential administration, before he was even in the administration. That was still during the campaign. But it's very relevant now, this week. So go take a look at that column. It's kind of a neat perspective to look back on. And for us, we just love, being able to see these things, because the timeless advice and wisdom of Phyllis Schlafly is always just awe-inspiring. She really did have a good way of looking much further beyond an issue than a lot of other people did.
She was ahead of her time.
Always.
As everyone says.
Well, yeah, our chairman, Helen Marie Taylor, who just passed away this year as well, she always said that you had to get used to Phyllis being ahead of her time all the time. And it's a good play on words, but it's 100% true, because she really was all the time. She seemed to have this really laser-focused long-term vision that was just incredible for America.
And if you're ever wondering, well, there's all these issues that are going on in the world. Where do we get our news from? Who can we trust? We've already in the past talked to you and given you some suggestions, like Jack Posobiec, Center for Immigration Studies. But also I would say Ed Martin's radio show. He has the Pro America Report, and he records that every single day. You can have access to that on our website. Also, we do have a weekly column that John and Amy Schlafly continue to write to this day. They write a column a week. So you can read those. That is some great information that you can trust. And then also we have a daily commentary that comes out every single day, Monday through Friday. And we try to keep that information up to date as possible. But that's also information that you can trust as well. So definitely check out our information. Look at our website, phyllisschlafly.com is where you can find all of that.
Absolutely. And then remember also, I mean, we've got a lot of things we could run through here, but come to Eagle Council, and you'll be able to hear these kinds of things in person. You'll be able to meet with some of the folks that we respect, and some of the different people that we have coming in. And of course, you'll be able to meet with a lot of our Eagles, particularly here in the Midwest, but around the country, they'll be coming in. And these are a lot of special people that I think would be good for all of us to be a little bit more connected with. So we would love for you to be there with us in person. We've tried to make every opportunity so that can be affordable, accessible, and available. So eaglecouncil.com, come join us there after you've signed up to get our emails. Go sign up there, and then come and join us on September 17th. We got a lot of other things we could dive into, but I think, what do you want to do? You want to throw out a few more rapid fires and end it, or should we just close it down?
I think we're out of time.
We're out of time. Okay. It's been a few minutes. We'll give a couple. Let me give one shout out. One thing you should read. This is a bonus because you had to watch us talk, or her talk, for a minute before we actually got the sound on.
Not bad.
It was my fault. It was my fault for not hitting the button. But one more thing I'll throw out here. It's a good one that's going around. You want to talk about good inside sources. I know we've mentioned Jack Posobiec, but you follow along in that crowd, you start to see some really interesting things come up. Here's a Substack article from Raheem Kassam, who also is part of the Human Events, right? No. National Pulse.
Yes.
From the National Pulse. And Raheem is blowing the lid a little bit off of some of the globalist tendencies here. Apparently, there was almost, it seems, or reportedly, a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, and it mysteriously disappeared right around the time that UK Prime Minister, or almost former Prime Minister, Boris Johnson made an appearance in Ukraine. So you want to go in and get some of the dots connected from military-industrial complex and defense complex. Wow. You want to tie the knots between politics, defense contractors, money, globalists, and all the different things together, things that keep wars going because it's economically profitable for a few. This article is going to do some of that for you. It's definitely something that pulls the curtain back a little bit. So read that. It's worth your time. I just posted it there in the chat. We'll make sure it gets into the comments. And then you want to know more about all the other things, come to Eagle Council.
Yeah.
Or join us next week. We'll be back next Thursday for another Unauthorized Caucus, noon Central here on Thursday. We'll look forward to seeing everyone then.